Welcome back. We are currently in the gym. Gaz is with me. Gaz is filming the session. I am going to be going through my lower body session today, and I'm going to take you with me, essentially. I'm a bikini competitor. What's the feedback usually? More glute. So there's a lot of lower body glute training in my program. So my lower body sessions that I have are very similar to each other. There's a lot of similar movements. There's a lot of hip thrusting. Again, glute dominant sort of movements. But today's session is a very exciting one. I've only got 4 movements. I'm going to take you with me through the entire session. I'll definitely say if you do want to grow your lower body, glutes especially, definitely want to give a go in the future. But let's get cracking with the session. Before I actually get into my session, I'm going to do 2 sets of planks. When it comes to lower body training, there's a lot of engaging of your midsection, keeping your core tight. So doing planks beforehand actually allows for me to sort of warm up and get that sort of sensation of how I'm supposed to keep my midsection throughout all of these different movements. One of the things I have spoken about in one of my previous YouTube videos is how important it is to keep that core tight, keep your pelvis tucked under when it comes to glute training. So doing planks before I go into my session really helps with making sure that stays nice and tight. Right, 3 sets on here. I'm going to warm up. For the love of God, warm up. Whatever exercise you do, warm up, especially bigger movements where you're going to be moving more load. Make sure to take your time before you go into your working set, warming up, figuring out, right, okay, how am I feeling today? What way am I going to do my working sets so that when it comes to your working sets, you can give it maximum effort. That doesn't mean, do 6 warm-up sets. No, do right increments, kind of work up, but do it in a manner where that is not taken away from your working set. I'm going to do 1 plate aside just to see, how the movement's feeling today, and then probably do another warm-up set and then go into my first working set. With this machine, you don't need to go all the way down towards the floor. It literally does fuck all for your glutes. If you can control each sort of portion of the movement, so when you're going into the stretch, when you're allowing for your hips to drop down, you will know when you can't go any further down with not getting any more out of it. You'll notice your shins will start coming towards you. When they do, you're actually not getting more out of the stretch on your glutes. You're actually getting more of a sort of knee bend, which ends up with your quads taking over. So that's the point at which you should stop before then squeezing, driving up. That way you can get the most you can out of this for your glutes. I used to just feel this in my quads, tiny little tweaks, and all of a sudden, I can actually feel it in my glutes. Who would have known, right? All right. 3 plates for my first working set. So my first working set is actually lighter than the following 2. So I start off a little bit lighter and then make it a little bit harder and harder for the following 2. So I think I'm going to go with 3 plates. I reckon so. I'm still dieting at the minute, and my food has been lowered a few days back. I have felt it. My body weight, I have gotten a new low, which was very exciting. However, my body has been quite stubborn, and following from that, it's come back up. So it was a little bit frustrating, to say the least. However, one thing to remember when it comes to things like dieting, if you are doing everything right, if you are doing what you are supposed to be doing, so staying on top of your plan, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, there's a lot of different things that could be contributing to that weight fluctuating. Sometimes it's just what happens, right? So I find after training, my body weight, it goes up, especially after lower body training. For some people, it comes down, but for me, it actually comes up. Things like eating slightly later on, not sleeping too well, time of the month for females, you know, all these different things are going to be a contributing factor to why that body weight can fluctuate. So don't get so, you know, focused on my body weight has potentially come up ever so slightly in a deficit. Just do what you need to, carry on working, and trust me, things will happen. I'm looking leaner. Even though my body weight has come up, I'm looking leaner than last week. So that's all that matters, right? I just cut my hair in between the plaits. That was painful. How many reps was that? I'm gonna have to ask Gas to watch this back. Oh no, I filmed. See, this is why you film your set. Not always to just review the form, but you don't have to focus on counting. You can just focus on pushing yourself. Yeah. I'm matched. Which is not a bad thing at this point in a diet. It would have been nice if it was more.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
We win some, we lose some, unfortunately. I'm sorry guys, I splashed you. If you like my 1 litre shaker, you can get it from Engineered Muscle. They have some great supplements, the best UK brand going at the moment when it comes to high quality supplements. Plus they've got some awesome shakers. So, Engineered Muscle, check them out. We have finished with the glute drive. Now moving on to, I was going to say front foot elevated, but it's not. It's on the floor. It's a Smith machine split squat on a Smith machine, as the name suggests. With this movement, the idea is to keep it as glute biased as possible. So in order to do that, my front foot, so the working sort of side leg, I'm going to aim to keep my shin nice and vertical, because the more knee bend you get, the more your quad's gonna work. With keeping the foot a little bit further away, keeping the shin nice and vertical, I'll be able to get a nice stretch in the glute as I come down, and then really challenge it on the way up. Like I said, biasing that glute over other muscle groups working as much as possible. Is it doing most muscular? Hair is up, that means business. Or not wanting to get it ripped out by a bar on my back. Right, gonna give it a go. I'm gonna go a little bit heavier. Oh, that took my soul. Can't even say anything. If you're not like this after a set, you're not training hard enough. If you can get a sentence out without breathing hard and for it to make perfect sense, you need to train harder. See, this session is only 4 exercises. However, if you have a look at this exercise, for example, 1 set per 1 leg, because technically there's 4 sets if you think about it, are brutal. It quickly adds up. It really, really quickly adds up. I've got another set, well, 2 sets per leg, set per leg left. And I'm so sweaty I had to take my top off, just because otherwise it'd be a sweat patch central. With this movement, again, something that I've discussed in my previous YouTube videos, so if you've not seen it, go back. It's a few weeks back, a glute session with me. When it comes to glute training, always tuck your pelvis under you. So you'll notice with this movement, when I sort of step back with my leg, I don't allow for my bum to just stick out. I'm not thinking, you know, everyone look at my bum. I'm doing the opposite. I'm stepping back with my leg, but I'm keeping my hips under me. So it's essentially trying to make my bum look as small as possible. And because of that, I'm actually getting a really good stretch in my glute on the way down. Challenges the glute a little bit more, makes the glute grow a little bit more. So if you want massive glutes, pretend you have none. That should be my like a slogan thing. Put it on a t-shirt. I wanted like 7. I think that was 7. I'm happy. I think, well, my training is going to be changing soon. So we'll see if I have this movement in my new training, because I am at the end of my dieting phase. And as I transition into my off season, I'm going to be getting a new training split, which is very exciting. So I am going to share that with everyone as soon as I've started that. Very excited. Like, this dieting phase wasn't all about, you know, getting shredded, because I'm not shredded. I'm leaner, but I'm not shredded, and that's not the point. It'd be a little bit counterproductive right now, because we want to get a little bit leaner, put me in the best position possible to then, you know, have a nice responsive body when I go into a growing phase. You know, I've got the energy, I've got the fuel, I've got the food to really focus on growing my physique. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing. I'm in a relatively good spot now, so looking forward to it. Mission, more glutes incoming. Life of a bikini competitor, right? What do you need more of? Glutes. A sprinkle of delts. Maybe a little bit lat, but what do you need more of? Glutes. That's the story always. Oh, let me do my last set. Something there. That doesn't matter. It's a point I've got some abs there. Christ. Moving on to glute med kickbacks. There's actually different ways to set it up, and I think it's very much dependent on what works best for you. For me, it's kind of positioning my non-working side leg at a slight angle so that my working side leg essentially moves in line with the cable stack. Some people rather set themselves up a little bit more sideways. This is what I find works best for me, where I can connect with that glute med. So essentially the little shelf at the top of your glute. So I'm going to be doing 2 sets per leg Key with kickbacks is essentially not doing a kickback, not kicking your leg out and about. We're not a donkey. Think of it more as a pushback with your leg. You want to be controlling the movement. You don't want lower back to be coming into it as well. So midsection, super tight, literally as if someone's about to punch you in the stomach, super tight. And then think about pushing your leg down and away from your body until you fully squeeze that glute, and that's when you come back into the stretch. Not going past that, because at that point it's just your lower back doing the work, not the glute. Because I've already done a few exercises already, I find I don't really need to warm up that much for this movement. Plus, I can't actually move that much load when doing this movement because it's such a specific isolation. You're not going to be moving that much weight. So I usually do one warm up and I'm fine with that, and then I can go into my working sets right after, as compared to, you know, bigger movements where I'd be doing a few warm up sets. If you find when doing kickbacks, your foot catches on the floor, because there's nothing worse. You know, you get into your set, next thing you know, your foot literally just catches and you've got this stumbling sort of feeling. Get yourself something to elevate your non-working side foot off the floor with. I've got a step. You can use these like aerobic sort of step up things as well, or just like a bumper plate. Something like that would be perfect. Just to elevate yourself a little bit further away from the floor so that when you start working, all of a sudden, your foot is not catching on the floor and you can fully lock it into your set. I know a kickback is just an isolation movement, but it doesn't mean that you work any less hard. Put the effort in, work hard, it's going to pay off. Any set you do, any movement you do, maximum effort for maximum growth. Last exercise of the session, hip banded RDL. So hip banded, because RDL is one of those movements that actually is the hardest in the stretch. If you think about it, right at the top, it's not doing anything for you. You're just holding the weight, which is pulling you down because gravity, right? If you add a band around your hips to essentially thrust through into, it's just adding that extra little challenge going into the shortened range with that movement. So rather than it just being hard at the bottom, it gets a little bit harder at the top as well. I've set up my band around a cable stack because I find this is one of the most stable places I can put it around. I'm going to do a few warm-up sets just because I can actually do a decent amount of load with this movement. I've got 2 sets here. We shall see how I feel working up to my weight, but I'm hoping to jump into like high 40s with my weight. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to do a few warm-up sets. Again, I'm going to be doing them in the band because again, we're replicating what we're going to be doing for the working set. I'm going to get cracking. I'm going to get warmed up. I'm going to take my Aura ring off because otherwise it digs into my finger. I've got my lifting straps. If you've got small hands like me, your grip is always going to be the limiting factor when it comes to strength. So if you're training, your back, your, posterior in any way, you'll find that those muscle groups are always going to be stronger than your grip. Invest in some lifting straps, get locked into whether it's a machine, whether it's dumbbells, and that way, that's not going to be limiting you from, finishing your set early where it's your grip giving up rather than the muscle groups that you're actually working. the most graceful of exercises to get into. Gonna watch that back and then decide on my last set weight. Felt good. I'll just watch it back. I've got 6 reps and that last one was a bit shit and doggy. I got 6. The rep range is 6 to 8. I could try 46s for another 6. Give it a go. Oh, that's so annoying. My grip was going and I think I'm due a deload. I usually find I need a deload when my grip starts to be like absolutely dog shit. So if I can't hold on, even with my lifting straps, if I can't hold on to handles, dumbbells, if I'm starting to drop things, that's usually a telltale sign of me just needing a little bit of a step back. But good job. Now next week I've got a little bit of time off. A little bit of a 4th time off because I'm gonna have my wisdom teeth out. Please pray for me. But I think it's worked out pretty well time-wise for me to have a little bit of time off then because, oh, that was a bit annoying. Because I would have been able to finish that rep nicely and probably get another rep if it wasn't for the fact that I just felt like, you know, I don't want to drop a dumbbell on my foot and then it felt like it was going. One telltale sign for you that potentially you need a little bit of a break from the gym, it's not just tiredness, I'm feeling a little bit achy. Things like your grip not being as good, being a little bit more clumsy could potentially be one of them. Done. I hope you've enjoyed it. I definitely recommend for you to give it a go next time you're in the gym. Like I said, it's only 4 exercises, but they will challenge you, I can guarantee you that. Plus, they will help with growing your lower body, especially your glutes. If you've liked this video, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you'd like to see from me in the future. Let me know in the comments. And most importantly, please subscribe. so I can carry on sharing my journey, knowledge, training, all sorts of different things on this channel. But for now, I'm going to sign out. I'm gonna go get these heels off and go home.